You just had us all do an exercise where you said red leather, yellow leather 10 times, and it sounds like a bunch of mumbly mess at the end. Why did you have us do that?
One of my first jobs, my friend, we were doing cold calling, and before you got on the phones, he had us do this exercise to warm our mouths properly and get our brain working in the fact that we're going to speak properly and clearly and enunciate.
I'm sorry, what was this? What was this first job you had where you had to make sure your mouth was stretched?
Oh my God, this was a nightmare. I knew when I said stretch my mouth, something was going to happen.
I was going to make the same joke, but I was waiting for it.
We're all very creative. We made a blowjob joke.
Yeah. This was a nightmare of a job. Right out of college, one of my really smart friends, he got a perfect score on the SAT. He missed one question, not perfect. But he wanted to start a digital advertising company. We were going to cold call and try to get business, etc. And so you could imagine a bunch of 21-year-olds who have no experience with sales or marketing or digital anything.
What were you selling specifically?
We were going to redo companies' websites and search engine optimization, stuff like that. It just flopped for everybody except for him. He stuck with it and now he's killing it, of course.
So during the pandemic, I was very desperate to find a job. So I was applying to anything. And I was like, I don't think I could ever do a job where I have to cold call someone. That seems like the success rate has to be 1 in 100 that somebody actually listens to you, huh?
Yeah, it's miserable. Yeah. If you cold call, the reward has to be great for if you make one sale. Your success rate has to be 1 in 500 calls and you'll make enough money for the month or something.
All right, does Bailey have literally anything to say?
Bailey's I cold call every day at my marketing firm.
Yeah, DC, you want to cold call to get people to listen to this podcast?
I was about to. Yeah. Please. It's hey, what do you do when you drive to work?
What do I do?
No, that was the cold call. That was for the...
No, we're role-playing it. DC, what do you do when you drive to work?
DC, you're actually, yeah, DC, since you have experience, you're the cold caller. I'm going to be the guy, you're cold calling me, trying to get me to listen to the BDP podcast.
Okay, great.
Fuck, this is tough. Bring, 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 bring.
Hello?
Hello, sir. Is your refrigerator running?
Yeah?
You better go catch it.
Why don't you... I'll fucking family, I'll kill you!
Jesus.
Such a measured response.
Yeah, tune into the BDP podcast, please, sir. I don't know if we
okay, we did it. We did
it. That was a bunch of hot garbage. But now I am curious. What do you do when you drive to work in the morning in the car?
I get up out of my bed and I walk to my chair. I walk from home.
Pre-COVID. How about pre-COVID?
I've never worked an office job in my life.
Oh, wow. Are you looking forward to working in an office one day?
I'm very impartial to it. It'll be an experience, but also getting out of my bed and just going to my desk is a pretty nice procedure to start the day, rather than having to drive for half an hour or some shit.
Agreed, 100%.
Do they have offices in England?
Nope, not
none.
Okay, yeah, I've never been, so I don't know anything about it.
When I was a kid and growing up in college, whatever, I was excited for a real office job.
Really?
Yes.
What enticed you?
I think Pound can relate to this, but just the feeling of I've made it.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was gonna say. That's when you picture something professional. That's what you picture.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
It's the opposite in my brain. In my brain, it's like I'm an office job. I failed.
Bailey's in my brain, if I'm not on the farmland every morning.
Man, working on a farm would be kind of cool.
And now that I work in an office, I can't wait to get out of one. So, that kind of switched.
Yep. Maybe I'm 2 ahead of my time.
I like how my joke earlier made no fucking sense because the show The Office is from Britain.
I swear we've talked about that show on here before.
Yeah, that's my
far too much.
That is my desert island show. Did we talk about that?
I think so. Oh, that should be a podcast idea. We should do a desert island show.
Yeah.
Okay. Where we're stuck on a desert island and we can't record because we're on an island.
We now have why don't you make a note of that? We now have an administrative assistant. I don't know if you guys have heard, but we've hit 75 subscribers on the YouTube. So now we are able to employ a full-time employee.
Yup, on our unmonetized channel.
Leading into that, let's actually, since we doubled our audience last month, if y'all just want to give a quick, so people know who's talking with which voice. My name's Pound. I'm from the southern United States. I'm 25 years old, and I love long walks on the beach.
I'm bailing after hearing that. I want to fucking die.
He's from Britain, if you couldn't tell.
I'm DC, age is irrelevant, and I'm the one who actually likes walking. So if you guys listen to this podcast, so.
That doesn't make any sense to them.
I was actually, so before I went to bed last night, I was like, oh, I'm going to go in the morning, because I like to, on the weekends, I like to walk in the morning. And I was like, oh, I'm going to go walk, and I'll be able to share with DC, like, yeah, I went to go walk before we recorded. But instead, at 11:30 p.m., I drove to Walmart and bought alcohol and got drunk.
Jesus Christ. You really went the opposite direction with that one, huh? Walk us through the thought process. Like, did something happen? I love those moments when you have an idea come into your brain for a split second and you instantly act on it, and like you can't get it out of your brain until you do that. And that's what that sounds like. Is that somewhat accurate?
Yeah, I would. So I actually haven't had alcohol in probably a month or so. I've been pretty good about it. I'm very, very heavily influenced by content that I highly look up to. Like, so, for example, God. I always hated beer. I hated alcohol in general. I didn't like it at all. Like, I turned 21 and I didn't even go drink. And then around when I'm turning 22, I start rewatching one of my favorite cartoons ever, King of the Hill. And in King of the Hill, they love drinking beer. They're always hanging out and drinking beer and stuff. And I was like, okay, so in the show, they drink beer, and it's a funny show. So maybe I should drink beer. That's not the conscious thought going through my head, but unconsciously, I'm like, yeah, I like King of the Hill, so I should like beer. So I'm gonna buy beer, and then I started drinking a lot.
Now he's clinically depressed and homeless.
What if you started watching a podcast hosted by drug addicts and they were doing hair? Like, please stay away from anything that's going to harm you. That makes me think that you watched a content creator who sold and traded stocks, day traded. Is that true?
Right? No, it's not true.
Did you watch a content creator who was like criminally unfunny?
I used to subscribe to Bailey OP Clash Royale.
We're gonna have this thing where if you insult another co-host of the BDP podcast, we're gonna ring a bell, and then you guys just have to like go into it, rip it into each other, like a little rap battle.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say if you insult a host, you have to shoot your nuts off.
Oh, what?
Well, that way nobody would do it.
Bro, okay. When we are rich, I'm going to send you to an institution and have your brain analyzed, because every time you speak, it fascinates me. I think I've touched on this several times in the podcast, but just like your brain is just a magical place where ideas are created, born, and killed faster than anything I've ever seen.
But so anyway, last night I was streaming to we did Friday movie night in the Discord. Thanks for coming, guys. Okay.
It was like 1 a.m.
Badger and ESL were there, and after the movie, I don't know why, but I started showing them Angry Video Game Nerd, which is one of my favorite YouTube channels. He often drinks this beer called Rolling Grok, which is a terrible beer, but anyway, I was like, yeah, this guy's pretty cool, and he drinks beer. So I went to Walmart and I got beer.
Really?
Wow.
That was it?
That was it. That's all it took, Bailey.
So
That's all it took for him.
I have some nostalgia of, in years past, I would watch him a lot, like for hours at a time. And I would drink Rolling Grok with them while watching the video. So it put me in like a mood. It was kind of like a nostalgic mood of drinking.
Okay.
But yes, I'm very easily influenced by nostalgia and things I like.
Let's never tell Pound about pedophile hunter channels.
What is? Oh yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Wouldn't that be good? I would go hunt pedo. I wouldn't turn into one. I would go hunt them down.
Who knows? Maybe it's a coin flip.
Ever since they started airing To Catch a Predator, like, okay, so the good news is there's 100 million people just signed up to hunt down pedophiles. The bad news, 100 million people are pedophiles.
So much influence.
They saw the people on TV. They're like, oh, that's an easy way to get famous.
Yeah. So last night I went out to dinner with Jenna and then a couple.
Okay, now explain who Jenna is, because I made a joke about it in episode 12, and there was no context to who she was.
Jenna's my girlfriend.
I thought she was your fiance.
She is. Girlfriend, fiance. Ooh. She was. Yeah. And then she cheated on me, and I cheated. No, I'm kidding. No. She, so we went out to dinner last night, and that's why I couldn't tune into your movie. But I hadn't done this in a long time, where we waited an hour and 20 minutes for our table.
You didn't, I assume you didn't have a reservation?
No, they don't take reservations. It was this small little Mexican place. And
Wait, are you talking about Taco Bell?
yeah, it was. Nothing great happened. Nothing funny happened. But that's why I couldn't tune into your movie. Bailey, what'd you do last night?
So the story went fucking nowhere, real.
Nowhere.
Tell us about the meal.
Okay, I have this. Yeah, I got shrimp fajitas, and there's this thing in my head where every time I see the word fajita, all I say is fajita because it sounds like vagina, and I think that's funny, and nobody else in my life thinks that's funny.
You're literally 30 years old.
It's so funny. There's a Family Guy cutaway with that joke. That's how funny. You're funny.
Okay, good. Yeah. And so I have to like say it in my head just to like get it out of my system, and then I'll be like, I'll have the shrimp fajitas, please.
What would you do? Because you know how if you go to like an ethnic restaurant like that, sometimes the waiters will like correct you on pronunciations. What would you do if the waiter was like, "It's vagina, sir"?
They just bring a plate of shrimp vaginas. Yeah. Like, what? Shrimps don't even have vaginas.
Yes, that's great. Yeah, I'm glad we can laugh about it. I couldn't laugh about it with the company last night.
Man, adults who like take themselves seriously are so... I hope I never turn into that.
I don't think I ever will. I'm 30 years old, and
you're already an adult when you don't do it.
I'm already true. Like, I'm not going to change. And some of my friends have done that, where they think they have to take on this persona of an adult. I hate saying it like that. Mm-hmm. It's fun when you say it. This persona of an adult. Actually, adult is more fun. Anyway, they change, and because they think they have to act a certain way, and hanging around them, it's like, you've changed. Imagine Pound gets into like watching like rap music videos and just starts like completely transforming the way he looks. He
starts watching like school shooter documentaries.
What was it? You cut out.
He said, "Imagine Pound starts watching school shooter documentaries." I was like, "We were talking about rap music. We didn't."
It's fine.
Canceled. That's what's gonna cancel us.
Why?
I'm gonna have a buzzer. I'm gonna have a buzzer here that anytime there's
school shooter documentaries.
Cancel contact. We don't bring those up casually. Like those are serious events that are traumatizing to millions.
Yes, true.
Yeah, my therapist says I should never watch documentaries on 9/11.
Oh God. Canceled.
Why?
Canceled.
Somebody tried to cancel us. Did y'all hear about this?
No, I didn't. What?
Yes. So our newest episode, when Bailey shit on the Scouse accent, there was a local news channel in Scouse. They were trying to, what is it, Liverpool is the name of the place?
No, but it's Scouse. The place is called Scouse. You nailed it.
A local news channel in Liverpool tried to cancel us for making fun of their accent. Luckily, it didn't go viral because nobody can fucking understand them.
Is this thing on?
I don't think you understand. I was pouring, before we called each other, I was pouring my coffee, and I'm like, okay, what are you going to say? This is going to get a huge laugh. Make sure you got the wording right.
Yeah.
And then just demolished in seconds.
Like...
Nothing worse than that, man. When you are so pumped to tell a joke or tell a funny story, and it just doesn't land.
Look, it would be funny if it was more racist against Liverpool.
Okay, what should I have said, Bailey? Teach us.
I don't know, call them poor or some shit.
Okay, so there was this poor news channel. They didn't even have a camera.
Yeah. Nobody saw the show because it wasn't fucking recorded.
I don't know if you guys are too young for this. Do you know of the movie or in game Mortal Kombat?
Yes, I know what Mortal Kombat is.
I'm not fucking fool.
Look, I'll say this. I've never played it, but yes, I know what Mortal Kombat is.
Well, like the movies that I loved growing up came out in the early 90s, I think it was. And dude, I had to have watched these movies 20 times each. I absolutely love these movies. And so I started to see advertisements on the internet for a new Mortal Kombat movie is coming out on HBO and in theaters. I was just so absolutely hyped for this. Almost as hyped as when I started playing the guitar and the movie School of Rock with Jack Black came out.
You talking about the new Mortal Kombat movie?
Yes.
Okay,
have you seen the trailer for it?
I was just at the movies about a month ago, and the moment the trailer came, I recognized them immediately. I was like, "Is that Mortal Kombat?" I was hyped for 2 seconds. 2 seconds after, I was like, "Okay, I know this is gonna fucking suck." Most video game movies suck. I don't know why, but they do.
It was so bad. I was so upset. The movie was just god awful, and the effects were really cool. Like the storyline was okay, but the acting just threw it over the edge. I don't like when it's a real risk when these movies producers, directors hire no-name actors, right? People I've never seen before.
Mm-hmm. The moment I saw the Mortal Kombat trailer, I was like, this is going to be like Dragon Ball Evolution. This is going to be like Avatar The Last Airbender. It's
Avatar
just
The Last Airbender, yes,
Yeah.
awful, god awful.
Yeah.
Anyway, I had to share that with you guys because I don't get hyped over movies often, like really, really hyped. And I came home after work one day, figuring out that I had an HBO Max account, and just sat down and watched it, and was just so disappointed.
So you figured it out?
I have I have HBO through Hulu. It's a streaming service. I don't know if you have it over there. And so when I was trying to find it on Hulu since I have. It's just really boring. Never mind.
When was the last time you saw a movie came out that was in 3D? I feel like that was all the rage like 15 years ago.
I don't think I've ever seen one in 3D actually.
I remember watching them all. I feel like every month there'd be a new 3D movie when I was a kid, and now I'm like, I don't think they even do that.
Yeah, this was
anymore.
like mid 2000s. I remember going to the local Best Buy, and there would be 3D TVs on display, and we were like, this is the new wave. This is it. I wonder what happened. I wonder if people just started getting aneurysms.
I think it's like watching TV and movies is very casual, right? But 3D is you have to
commitment.
engage in that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't sort of just sit back because there's shit coming at you, you know?
Yeah, it's traumatic. It's stressful.
Yeah, it is. Like, it's a cool idea, but actually, it's not that practical.
It's gimmicky, I think, is what the issue was. So,
that too. I never really liked them as a kid. Like, we'd see someone, I'd like, I'd rather just go watch without the glasses.
I would lose my shit over them. I was so excited.
I also, this is not interesting or anything, but I joined I joined two Facebook groups. Two food groups. Yeah.
He's not even going to explain what they are. He's just that's the end of the story.
One is called Cheesesteak Gurus, right? Because like over here, Bailey, cheesesteaks, especially in Philadelphia, where it's the home of the. Do you know what a cheesesteak is?
No.
Oh wow, Pound! Please explain a cheesesteak sandwich for our viewers.
God, why are you putting me on the spot? So it's what's the kind of bread? What is it a hoagie? Or?
Okay, that's cute. Just stop. So
I'm not native to that region where it's popular.
Are bonita fish big? You guys won't get that joke either.
What?
You guys have ever seen Step Brothers?
I'm cutting this. Just
Nothing feels worse than when you're on a podcast and your co-host just say, "I'm cutting this." By the way.
No. Nothing feels worse than when you think you've done a good segment that it gets cut in the final product. You're not even told until you listen to it.
You're scrolling through. Oh, it's coming up. It's got to be coming up. Not funny. Gone. All right. So cheesesteak is it is steak and cheese. Good guess, Bailey. But it's on a.
I mean, it's not like a fillet.
No, it's not. What they do, it's ribeyes. It's ribeye meat chopped up very finely and cooked on the grill, and you put American cheese and you saute some onions, and then you just have to have a really good roll. You guys know like a hoagie roll where you have to like.
I said hoagie, and you shit on me.
I know, but ideally it would have sesame seeds on it, and it would be chewy, and you'd have to kind of rip it away with your mouth like a lion tearing flesh off of a freshly killed zebra. You know what I'm saying?
DC likes it because it makes him feel very masculine.
Okay, DC. Actually, so I want to talk about cheese choices with you because I've seen places where they do like Cheese Whiz out the can.
Yeah, they say Whiz Whiz.
It's literally like, have you ever seen whipped cream in a can where you spray it with a
disgusting.
It's cheese in that, yeah.
Fucking disgusting.
Bailey, do you have Velveeta mac and cheese over there, or just Velveeta?
I have no idea what you've just said to me.
Damn it! All right, yeah, never mind. Imagine a mayonnaise substance like cheese.
That's awful.
Yeah, it's delicious.
When you first said Philly cheesesteak, the first thing I pictured provolone at first. I don't know why. Is that an option?
Yeah, it's always an option. But
I really hope all of our viewers are American, because none of this makes sense to anybody else.
Oh, that's true. Actually, if you're not American, Google a cheesesteak sandwich right now.
Look, you can't watch this podcast without doing homework, all right? So
Yeah.
I'm going to tag this educational, okay?
Oh, while we have the opportunity, I listened to Malcolm Gladwell's Blink, and I wasn't impressed by it. I'm done with it. So I'm switching gears. I'm going to go with a funny book as my next read, but I want, if you guys have a suggestion for just an excellent audiobook, please leave it in the comments below. I'm looking.
You realize it's just going to be like Horny Sluts 9 is going to be like the... I do, real quick, so I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I posted the podcast to the Sleepy Cabin subreddit, and we got some very nice comments. I was glad because this whole time, whenever a new episode comes out, I spend like the next 2 days listening to it like 3 times because I genuinely enjoy it recently.
You egotistical fuck.
Yeah, exactly. I thought I was up my own ass. So I was like, is this actually good, or am I just that egotistical? Because there's Childish Gambino / Donald Glover. He has a stand-up joke about that where
He does stand-up?
he did one stand-up special.
Oh.
He has a joke about that where he picked up a friend in his car and he put on some of his music, and she's like, "Is this you?" He goes on to say, he's like, being a musician is the only job where you're not allowed to enjoy your own work. So like, if you play your own music in your car, people are like, oh, you have a big ego and stuff. You listen to your own music. But like, if you worked at Subway and you made sandwiches and you went home and made a sandwich, nobody would be like, oh, you're all egotistical now, huh?
That would be hilarious. Oh, yeah. Hot Shot's home from making sandwiches. Everybody gather around.
But yeah, I was really nervous that I was just like up my own ass about how good this was, because like this is funny. I like it. So I'm glad that I posted. Like, people have never heard of us, because that's a big thing with podcasts is people will recommend podcasts to me and I'll listen to it. It'll be in this format, like a bunch of friends talking, and I'm like, I'm sure this is
original of us,
right? I'm like, I'm sure this is funny, but I don't know any of these people, so like I can't relate to them that well.
Just to keep expectations at a realistic level, we put one good episode out of every 12. So by episode 24 or 25, we should be there again, and we'll make sure to post that.
Right. But we got some very nice comments, and that meant a lot to me, because I was like, okay, so it's actually kind of good, maybe. But one of the comments we got that was like, they said that, I don't know the exact comment, but they said we flow very well, or we interact well together.
That's the power of editing.
Right? Yeah. No, that's what I wanted to say was the Malcolm Gladwell thing about, once you do something for 10,000 hours. We didn't do 10,000 hours, but...
We've literally done like 10 hours.
No, I'm saying for months during lockdown, we were all streaming with each other live
We've been on voice calls we've been doing it for a while, because Bailey has a YouTube channel with over 500 subscribers. Pound has a Trovo Live where
he's
not
correct.
A lie. It's
he's
not a
correct
lie.
that it's over 500, but Bailey has like 22,000 or something.
And Pound was a full-time employed streamer on the Trovo.live website, as was your boy DC, and we played some...
I wasn't.
No, you weren't. You weren't even in the gold program, were you? They were like, you have less than 50,000 subscribers on YouTube.
500 subscribers.
Yeah. They never touched on his exact number. They just said you're over 500 and under 100K. But no, yeah, that's where and to go back and think about it, like how we just kind of sprouted out of the ground at random times and came together in that weird event.
I don't think I'd ever been on voice call with DC until last year.
Yeah.
And then we played Fortnite, not even exaggerate, probably 600 hours.
Yeah,
if I had to guess.
Don't let anyone know that. DC, you know what an incredible story it'll be if this podcast goes anywhere? Huh. Like, between me and you, like, I just randomly raided your stream one day and then, say we're, like, a really big podcast. Like, that's a pretty cool story. Pound, you're not involved in this, but...
Yeah, Pound, came to my channel one time and... What was it? You saw me do something, and you're like,
first time I ever went onto DC stream, I saw somebody was watching you on my friends list on Twitch.
Oh no, this is a bad story.
First time I ever see DC, it's just a webcam of nothing, an empty chair. I just hear yelling in the background between two. I'm like, what is... Him and his girlfriend are just off screen having an argument, and I was like, that's why I was like, does this happen often? And they're like, yeah, every stream.
It did happen a lot back then. Yeah.
But that's why we all watched. Here's another episode of the Jenna DC show.
Tell me if my memory is incorrect, but I feel like you said that she thought that if you streamed, y'all would get kidnapped or something.
Yeah, 100%. I showed her a clip of the podcast, or I was on Twitch or something, and someone's like, "Oh, I got to visit Pittsburgh," and she looked at me like I just killed somebody. She's like, "You know where we live?" And so I just keep her out of it now. I don't even try. I'm just like, you know what?
Dude, when we blow up, when we get to 100 subscribers, when we've made it.
She'll lose internet connection on her laptop, and she'll be like, "Someone's hacking us. It's fucking somebody from Trovo." Anyway, go ahead.
DC, did you ever tell her that you got 1K on Twitch?
No, that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it does.
I don't think so.
True. Yeah, but 1,000 people is like quite a lot of people.
Yeah, 1,400.
Like, generally, it's 1,400. Okay. Over 500 people is a lot of people.
Over 500. Yeah. You know what makes it cool is whenever I see streamers like trying, like they have their follower goal on the stream, on the screen or something. Like, hey, I want to reach 200. Like, you forget how much of a grind that was when you first started out.
Yep, we're not even there on this podcast.
How many do you have now on Twitch, Bailey? You hit like 7K, 14K?
10K or around
10K?
there.
Yeah, see, that's incredible. But like when you tell somebody about it who's new to it, there's not a better feeling out there than when someone who's new to it is like, oh, you do it too? How many followers do you have? And then you get to drop that number. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, wow. Yeah. Pound, how many do you have?
You two are on the same.
Yeah, I have 1,400 on Twitch.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, because so people are very skewed about what averages are, and this happens all the time.
What, just like, generally? People are really bad at maths.
No, it's true. People are bad. No, people are bad at what an average person is. So, like, if you say like, how many viewers does the average Twitch streamer have? Somebody might say, I don't know, like 50. Like somebody. It's like, because what they do is they look at the streams that they watch, and of course the streams they watch have lots of viewers. That's why they're watching them. That's how they found the channel. But in reality, 90% of Twitch streamers never, like, not average, they just never hit 10 viewers at any point.
He's making this up.
I'm not, no, it's... I mean, look, I'm sure the person I read it from made it up, but I read it from somebody.
An undisclosed source, okay. Right. Pound's brain.
Last night I don't know what something you just said reminded me of this, but we got the check. I was doing the tip and adding
the BDP podcast check. It just came in. We made 4 cents.
No, I was paying for dinner, and I had to add 20% for the tip, and I was really upset because I used to be really good at math in my head, and I looked at Jenna and I said, I was like, damn it, my mental math skills have gone down significantly. Like, since you always have a calculator in your pocket.
Exact same thing happened to me. Yeah.
She made fun of me for the next 2 hours for saying mental math. Is that something you guys have heard of? That's like a normal thing, right?
Yeah, that's. Look,
okay, she made me feel so stupid, like it wasn't a thing. I was like, it's math that you do in your head. She's like, okay, mental math.
She's retarded, but I don't understand social situations at all. Y'all know that.
Can I plug these headphones in your ass?
Borderline autistic.
Yeah. I genuinely want to maybe get tested for if I'm on the spectrum.
Can we do it on the podcast?
Yes.
We should. No.
I'm gonna Google online autism test and just take it.
We can't laugh at this, but no, that would be excellent. Canceled. We should get you tested on a vlog and then post it.
Yeah, no, I've been thinking recently that I might have some, because as I don't understand such situations, and I've always been in every grade, I've always been the math kid. Like, everyone would come to me for math help, and yeah, that was my I prided myself, and I would not write things down or use a calculator. I would try to. Obviously, I couldn't do like integrals and shit without writing it down, but anytime there's like multiplication or division, I would try to do it all. Yes, it's called mental math. Everyone who's not stupid knows that.
Thank you. I have to pee really bad, guys.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, cool.
All right, Pound, let's do a segment. What are we segmenting?
Okay, so welcome to the pedophile segment, guys. I hope you're ready.
Yes, my favorite segment.
So this is something that's actually been. I think this is an interesting thing to think about.
What, pedophilia?
So, Bad Baby, the girl who got famous from the Dr.
So it
Phil.
is pedophilia. Yeah.
So she's 18 now. So when she turned 18...
Justifying it to yourself.
Right? When she turned 18, because people were like, there was like countdown timers, which there is for a lot of like female celebrities. There's like, people like, okay, only 4 more days until I can jerk off to her.
Yeah,
when she turned 18, she started an OnlyFans. She's made like $2 million already. And she's not even like that attractive. Which is crazy, because she went on Dr. Phil 4 years ago, said one sentence, and now she made $2 million.
Yeah. She made a lot more than that.
Oh, yeah, because, she also made music and stuff. But, so some people said that, because she only posted on OnlyFans after she turned 18. Some people said, okay, I think some of these pictures she took, like, a few days ago, when she was still technically 17.
Who's this?
We're talking about Bad Baby.
DC, that's not a good look. That is not a good look.
What is it? No, I'm just saying who. I knew you guys were talking about like a celebrity or something.
Sounds like she took some of these photos when she's underage, and DC comes back like, wait, who?
No, I'm just curious. Who? Like, I don't know. Is that the girl from the Dr. Phil show?
Yeah, the Cash Me Outside, yeah.
Okay.
How about that? Yeah. So
Okay.
I was saying she started an OnlyFans like a few days after she turned 18. She made like $2 million in a week. Some people were saying, some of these videos or pictures are taken a few days ago when she would have like content ready to post right when she turned 18. Mm-hmm. So she was technically 17 in the pictures. They don't have proof of that, but that was speculation. If somebody, because she's an adult, she can consent. So can you consent to having a picture of you as a minor be posted? It's a picture of you. You took it.
You can consent to it, but it's still not legal. Mm-hmm. It's still child porn. And also waiting, like people waiting for it to turn 18 is so fucking weird. Like it's like grooming, but not knowing.
You know you're a pedophile if you wait on the front door of a girl to turn. Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Look. I'm not trying to be pro pedophilia or anything.
No,
but
just nope.
Somebody who waits for a girl to turn 18 is like the opposite of a pedophile. Like if every
they're just a pedophile who knows
who's
the
scared
law.
to go to jail.
If every single pedophile in the world was like, oh, that's a cute child, I can't wait until she's legally an adult so I can have sex with her, that would be a very minor problem, no pun intended.
It would be less of a problem, but it's still them having an attraction to kids.
It's better.
Oh my god! How do we get back to pedophilia?
Because you left away like we're doing the pedophile segment.
All I'm looking at during this whole fucking podcast is a meme about seeing a bear eat a fish in a documentary about bears.
Cut it out. No one gets it.
Well, unless he makes a clip about it and posts the fucking meme.
Can we make the pedophile segment?
Oh my god! Please? So I spent an hour and a half taking clips
over a child. Wait, what?
Re-edit. Don't make jokes about that. Yeah. So I spent 90 minutes
waiting for a child to turn 18. He's so unimpressed.
I'm shaking my head. I just fear that you guys can't see it, but I'm just shaking my head.
So I spent 90 minutes taking clips from previous podcasts, like re-editing the audio, making it perfect, and then making clips so I can post on like TikTok and stuff, short little clips. And I was so ready for this video. I waited all day because I had it scheduled to go live like Friday at like 7:30 p.m. I was like, okay, like it's finally live. The moment it goes live, I get a notification. I was like, wow, somebody liked it already. The notifications from TikTok, they're like, your videos violated our content guidelines. Because it was a segment, DC was like, there were signs in my college dorm saying don't jizz in the showers. It like the bots like heard him say come, and so it auto took down the video. I was like, fuck, I was so excited for that. There's women like showing their
what
tits.
What the hell is wrong? Yeah, they're like, oh, that's against our moral stand. Take that down.
What's really funny is that DC's really concerned about getting us cancels, but he's the only one who's had one of our videos taken down so far.
Hey, I have a note here, and I don't know why I need to know this, and I almost know the answer.
Can I wrap up on the Bad Baby thing real quick? It's not about her being underage.
Okay, go ahead.
So I saw a lot. So as I said, she made like $2 million in a week, and a lot of people are calling her like a whore, or saying like she has no respect for herself. She's posting these pictures online. I don't think, because when you think about it, she could theoretically never work again. She made $2 million in a week.
Yeah,
if she invests that, so is it more respectful to like give away 40 years of your life to some company than to like post a few pictures for a week?
She made the right move 100%.
Yeah,
but don't you also respect yourself like a lot if you think you're like hot enough to post photos online? Because I'd never do that because I think I'm not attractive, right? Well, not attractive, but I don't think I'm at a level to where I should be posting porn of myself, right? But if you think you should be posting porn of yourself, surely you respect yourself a lot.
But she's not even attractive. I haven't seen her since the Dr. Phil days.
Once she turned 14, I wasn't interested, DC says. Yeah.
DC's like 2 months ago, she was really hot, but now she's not.
The only reason she has this fame is because she was She broke through as a goddamn idiot on the internet. That's it.
And that's what
That's
Dr.
it.
Phil does is he brings on people he know will like act stupid so he can post videos and clips
Yeah.
of it that people will watch.
That's what we do, and that's why DC's here.
Right.
Yeah.
What would you do if let's say this podcast gets a little bigger and theoretically somebody's like, look, I will pay each of y'all $10,000 a month. So each of us are getting $120,000 a year. We have to post group nude photos together. We don't have to fuck. We just have to like.
Well, of course not. Jesus Christ.
I'm like sitting at a computer editing with an erection. DC's like walking on a treadmill nude, and Bailey's like drinking tea or something. I don't know.
Great.
We get $10,000 a month for that. Would you guys pose together?
Pound's like, we don't have to fuck, but like we could.
I love how he said that. Like we might consider it even then if we still had to like have sex with each other. Like not enough money in the world would even like give me that.
No, it's like HBO porn where you just like you make it look like there's penetration, but you're not actually doing
it. It would take millions of dollars to make me make softcore porn with one of you fucking idiots.
I'd do it for free.
Yeah.
Just give me a plane ticket, I'm there.
No, I wouldn't do that for $10,000 a month. I would have to be making $250,000 just
to be in the same room as me.
No, just to be in a naked photo.
Really? Why?
Yeah, because dude, like
$250,000 a month.
No, $250,000 a year.
Okay, so that's like $20,000 a month.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
double
the
it.
price tag has been set.
Yeah, you guys got it. Make it happen.
That reminds me of the joke where a guy goes up to a girl and he's like, "Would you have sex with me for $10 million?" She's like, "Oh yeah, of course." And he's like, "What about for $5?" She's like, "What?" She's like, "I'm not a prostitute." He's like, "We've already figured out you are. We're just haggling on the price now."
That's funny.
Gotta haggle with DC.
No, because once that's out there, man, like your life is like once that's out there, it's out there. You can't put the cat back in the bag.
It's just a penis.
Yeah,
No,
right.
but like
There are
it's
billions of them.
His employer's like, "Wait a second.
Wait
You
a
didn't put on your resume that you had a cock." Like,
no, but like I don't know. So all right,
okay, DC, what if?
Wait, what employer? You are his employer in this scenario.
What if I edit this out? What if me and Bailey have our cocks, but I like edit you to look like a Ken doll. Would you agree to it then?
100%. Yeah.
Me and Pound just have like beer bellies and DC style like ripped as fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Yeah.
the weirdest porno ever.
No, it's not porn, it's art. We like caption it like what walking does to you, and it's like
beauty-
us just sitting at computers.
The beauty of the internet is that all it takes is one rich Arabic prince who's just like billionaire, and he's like, you know what? I like these three idiots. I want to see them naked. I'm going to give them $20 million.
That's what all the Instagram models do. If you ever see like some Instagram model and she's like, "Oh, I'm visiting India right now," somebody paid her to come fuck him. That's
All the time on Twitch, people just fucking going crazy over anime. And I know Pound is a big anime guy. So in a nutshell, if you had to cold call me and sell me on anime, I don't know anything about it. What makes anime so fucking good? I don't get it.
As opposed to American cartoons, or as opposed to like live action?
just nothing.
No,
just
come on.
Why
Let's
is
do
great?
it as a cold call. Come on. It's so much funnier.
Yeah, bring, 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 bring. Bring, bring. No. You're calling me.
You're calling him.
Yeah, sorry. I'll pick up the phone.
Hello?
What?
Oh my god. You're selling me on anime. So
Okay,
you make the ring noises. Go ahead.
Bling bling, bling bling.
You have a collect call from Pound. Would you like to accept the charges?
Yes.
Hi, sir. How's your day going?
It's all right. I can't complain.
He's getting arrested.
What are you?
Now's not a good time. Can I call you back? She turns 18 in 10 minutes, I swear.
There's a we've talked about food reviews a lot. There's a food reviewer called like Joey's World Tour. He's like 400 pounds, and he has a video where he's reviewing Burger King or some shit, and you just hear sirens in the background, and the moment the sirens come on, he just looks at the camera, he's like, "She told me she was 18! She told me she was 18!
Yeah, we talked about how good the background noises have been recently. All right. So phone picks up. Hey, what's going on?
Sir, what do you do in your free time?
I watch Twitch TV, and I have a successful podcast with over 70 subscribers.
when this episode comes out, we've like dropped down to the 60s. Tell me, do you ever get kind of bored of the limitations of real life? Like you can't fly, you can't have superpowers.
Yeah, so I watched The Avengers.
You have a good day, sir.
DC's like in this scenario, DC's like using psychic powers. He doesn't know where the call is going.
That's exactly what you're trying to do. Nice try, motherfucker.
No, but I've read, like, I haven't seen The Office, I haven't seen Parks and Rec, or all these.
My God, bro.
I almost never watch
human
real
television.
Yeah, because animation just gives you so much control. Like, there's no limit on what you can do. Like, if let's say we want somebody to fly or something like that could, I don't know. Look, I don't know anything about special effects, but that might cost like tens of thousands of dollars for a movie to like have somebody fly. It's no more expensive for somebody to fly than to like walk when you're animating it. And so I love how much freedom it gives you to do stuff.
That's why they do that. They're like, yeah, it costs the same. Might as well make him fly.
That's why Superman can fly, because when the comics first came out, he could just like jump over buildings. Like he could jump really high. It was a special power. And then when they started making cartoons about it, it was much easier to animate him like flying in a still than like jumping really high. So they just had him fly, and that's how he got that superpower.
Interesting. That's a fun fact. So you're just saying in a nutshell that the world is limitless in animation.
It's freedom. Yeah.
Okay, so why not watch other cartoons? Why is Japanese?
Well, I do watch American cartoons, but Japanese anime is typically, so there's two kinds of cartoons in America. It's aimed at 7-year-olds or adult animation like Family Guy. It's all adult animation is just like, hey, what if we have sex? Oh no, my balls fell out. Like it's either like grotesque sex humor, or it's aimed at like 7-year-olds. Anime actually gets into, and also a lot of American animation it's not like a plot. Like they want people to be able to tune in on any episode, so everything's like a new plot every episode. Anime follows a plot line, builds on itself, and it's more serious. Like it's more mature without just being like adult gross out humor.
Okay. Now, when people cough, I'm like, it's like terrifying. Like, we were getting coffee this morning, and this woman was just, and it's like before that wouldn't bother me, but now it's like.
I feel like I talked about this on the podcast before, but yeah, I'll be walking through a store, I'll swallow some spit wrong or something. I'll start like coughing a bit, and I'm like, oh my God, everyone's gonna kick me out of the store. They're like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
Oh man. Oh jeez, Rick.
Good.
What are we doing today?
Are you two out? Are you out of segments? Because I have my final segment prepared this week.
Your truth or dare?
Yes.
We're going with that for the name, brother. Last thing, I touched on this briefly at the end of last episode. As I've been saying, since I started work back in like December, I've been trying to figure out what the hell to do during weekday nights. Like I can't weekends, Saturday and Sunday, I'll go walk, listen to a podcast. I'll make our own podcast. I'll stream. I know what to do during the weekend. I can't figure out when I get home at like roughly 6 until I go to bed around 10 or so. Haven't figured out what to do, and it feels like I'm just wasting 20 hours a week, 4 hours every night. My first month because when I was a waiter before COVID started, I was so sick of working in restaurants. I didn't want to do it anymore. The hours sucked. There was no benefits. So the first month of COVID, all I did was learn how to code. I didn't get very far, and then I started streaming again. I decided, I'm like, I want to get back to learning how to code, because it's always a useful skill. So, but, on weekdays, I would come back from work, I just worked like 8 hours. Am I going to want to feel like it? Well, something that somebody said recently was that people don't get tired from working. They get tired from doing the same thing for too long. And that's entirely true. So I'll come home from the bank, and you'd think I'd be tired and want to just like watch TV and numb my brain. But no, I can sit down and do like 1 to 2 hours of coding, and it doesn't feel boring at all, because I'm switching. Like if my job was coding, if I had just done 8 hours of coding, I wouldn't want to come home and do it. But because I'm switching up what I'm doing, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but it's different. My brain is not tired. I'm able to concentrate, even though like I don't want to do any more work. Like if I had to stay at the bank for an extra 2 hours, I would kill myself. Not actually, but I can sit down and do other stuff, and I really like, because that's all I used to do is come home and watch YouTube for 4 hours and go to bed. So I'm glad that I'm actually doing something now, and it's interesting.
Yeah, I my biggest fear is doing a job that's like the same thing all the time. I feel like where you get burnt out of work is if it's like monotonous. But like if say you had some role in work, right, which was like, this is obviously never gonna happen, but it's like part banking, it's part coding, right, and you like split your days up in half, like you would love work doubly as much. Because you're always doing something different.
Why don't they do that, dude? Imagine where you could have 2 jobs, like where you do half a day at the bank.
Most people
you
don't
are
have
not
2
a
skills.
Human, you are a set of skills, and if you're not honing your set of skills, then you're useless, and somebody else will hone those set of skills.
This is actually why I want to get good at coding as well, because it's something I've learned about over the last is this podcast I listen to. They talk about this frequently. What are the odds? Yeah, it's about walking. What are the odds that I could be like in the top 10% best banker in the world? Not impossible, but it's probably pretty hard to be like top 10% at banking.
How do you be a good banker? Sorry.
Investments?
Know how different situations are handled, I guess. But the point is, imagine I'm a top 10% banker. That's hard to do.
Yeah.
And imagine it instead,
I'm
I'm like,
because
well,
they don't exist.
Right? Imagine, stop ruining the segment, first of all.
I'm making the segment. Nobody else cares if I wasn't
Imagine
talking.
I wanted to be top 10% in the country at like writing coding. Also pretty hard to do. Imagine I wanted to be the top 10% at knowing about banking and coding. Very few people have both those skills, so it's much, much easier for you to stand out. And when you have a unique skill like that, where not many people do banking and coding, I have extra value and I can get paid more for that. Because if a company ever pops up where they need both those skills, I'm one of few people that they can hire.
Imagine if you're in the top 10% of making interesting podcast segments. That would be amazing.
I probably am.
I'm trying to think in this specific situation, if you could code something that would exponentially benefit the banking world, you would be very valuable.
Yeah. Because, if you hire like a really good coder, maybe they don't know what kinds of things banks need. So it's harder for them to write a program, and a banker doesn't know how to code, so they just can't do it anyway. So if you work both, you know exactly what you're trying to do.
We just call this the 2-in-1. But you bring up a really good idea that like the companies should totally be normal, allowed, permitted. What's the word I'm looking for? If they want you to do it, it should
encouraged.
be encouraged. Yes, to have 2 professions and be able to work 4 hours at one and then go to the other and work another 4 hours, because that would. There's always people that are like, oh, I've always wanted to try this, but I'm stuck in this position. Like, whatever. And that would just. I think everybody would be happier. They'd be smarter. They'd be well versed. That would just be the coolest thing, actually.
I think on a positive note, I think the world is going that way. I think like jobs 50 years ago, 20 years ago were a lot more, I made a joke about you're not a human, you're just a set of skills. Like I think in the past there's probably more applicable, but like when I got the position that I got now, in the interview they asked me to define my own role, and they just gave me that, right? Because I feel like companies are starting to care for their people a lot more, and maybe, I don't know any studies on this, but like possibly there is, I would guess, there is a correlation that when you're happy at work, you do better work, rather than being incredibly skilled but depressed, right? Yeah. Like lower skill but happy is better than high skill but depressed at it.
Fuck, I forgot what I was going to add.
Sorry, I did cut you off there.
No, you're good.
Sometimes we have to wrestle for spots when we're talking, and sometimes you just sort of have to muscle and 50-50.
What was the DC? What was the last thing you said?
The hybrid jobs.
Yeah. So there's some very smart people that I look up to. They've often said, I'll give a specific guy, Naval Ravikant. Highly recommend you. He's on Joe Rogan. He's on Tim Ferriss. Highly recommend you go watch those interviews. He says that in the future, because he's a very big tech guy, like he lives in Silicon Valley and stuff. He says that in the future, I don't know what the time frame on this is, but every single job is just going to be like Uber is now. Like you're going to wake up and you're going to go to an app and it's going to say like somebody's hiring you, somebody wants you to come
be a coder for a day.
Yeah, somebody wants you to come code something for them for a day. Somebody wants you to come give them a ride for a day. Somebody wants you to come teach them a language for a day. And so basically everyone is self-employed, right? Everyone's self-employed, and you just pick what task you feel like doing at the time.
That would be incredible.
Yeah.
That would be a long time in the making, though.
Yeah, and you would have to have, everyone would have to have tons of skills.
Yeah,
to be able
long-term projects wouldn't be possible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it would just be...
Well,
it's almost inefficient. How inefficient is a new employee, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that it would be very niche for that sort of role, which would be awesome. But that sort of almost exists. It's Craigslist, right? You see a posting and you just go out. And
it's also called the Home Depot parking lot.
Yeah, right.
Are there professionals like on? Is it Craigslist or is it Craigslist? I've never been on it.
It's Craigslist
with an E.
No, Craigs.
So it's Craigslist.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Everyone says Craigslist. I'm like, it's not spelled like that.
That's how we pronounce Craig.
No, it isn't.
Yeah,
yes, it is.
Craigslist.
Really?
Yeah.
But it's
weird.
an AI. It's not an... Okay, anyway.
I know.
Are there, like, professionals who just work on that website that I shall not pronounce because I'll get bullied for it?
That's kind of what Fiverr is. Like, you can go hire someone to make a thumbnail for you. I can hire someone to edit the podcast. Yeah. That's what people do. That's what a lot of podcasts do is they hire somebody on Fiverr to do like an intro where they're like, welcome to the BDP podcast.
Can we do that this episode?
We should. Yeah.
Yes, we need music too. Apparently we need music. I think it could really help. But one of the things, when you said monotonous jobs, like I work in IT, and one thing I am thankful for, it is something different and challenging every single day. Like I could not imagine going into the office every day and just like doing paperwork, filing, like just all of this mindless, monotonous things. It's not challenging. It's the same thing for 8 or 9 hours a day. And that sounds miserable. Like I totally, I don't know what I want to say with this or go with this, but I'm very thankful. If you're looking for something that is challenging and unique and diverse every single day, go into IT.
Yeah, the most monotonous jobs are the ones that are easiest to automate. So that's why a lot of those jobs don't exist anymore, like from 50 years ago. Like it used to be somebody's job to just like look at a piece of paper and type it into the computer. Like that's not a full-time job
like
anymore.
An accounting job, like it's a great fucking job. It pays well, but oh my God, does that sound miserable. And I even like math more than the average person.
Especially because I believe this is what accounting does is they're like dead for most of the year, and then tax season they're like slammed. I like consistent amount of work. Your
busiest part of the year is doing people's taxes, which is most people's least favorite time of the year. And that's what you get to, like, I don't get it, but they make good money because you have to be smart. It'd be fun. Anything that is boring, just add the word forensic in front of it and work for like the government, and then it sounds sick. Like, I'd love to be a forensic accountant. I have to pee real quick. Oh my God. 2 cups of coffee and a gallon of water. No, shut it.
No, I'm going to do the intro. I didn't need you here for the intro. Fuck you. Leave now. Gone. Okay, good. So, to all of our newbies here, we have an ending segment, which is just a nice way to wrap up, because usually we just ramble forever, but if we have an ending segment, then we know where to end, and I can be free from this hell. Basically, one of us tells a story, and it might be entirely true or entirely a lie. And the other two have to guess whether it is entirely true or entirely a lie.
Real quick, you said they have to guess whether it's true or whether it's a lie. It's pronounced weather.
You're not funny. You're literally not funny. Like, I wish you were.
We need an actual soundboard. I'll look into this. Like, whenever certain things happen, I like get to hit like a not funny button and like a canceled button, and just see how many times they come out throughout the podcast. Admin, make a note.
Are we good? All right. So, my story, I like to start this with a headline because it's just easy to context it. My story is that I got asked to leave a girl's house because I cheated at a board game. That sounded really bad because I cheated.
We all thought he was saying cheated with her sister, right?
Her sister's actually in the story, but no. Right, so I'm talking to a girl. I went to Cambridge for her birthday, and we were both competitive people, right? And we had this like ongoing joke about being who was better at Monopoly, right? So this is the first time I'd been to her house. I'd met her before, but we hadn't been like indoors anywhere, so we're never able to. Not gonna go play fucking Monopoly in the park, right? So I spend the day there, and we're hyping up this game, and I'm talking to her sister.
It's Monopoly, or
yeah, Monopoly.
Okay.
I'm talking to her sister, and she can tell that we're both wanting to win this, and she was like making this joke about helping me cheat to win it, right? So
because she's like one of the top 10% Monopoly bankers in the world.
Yeah, right? So she's actually the banker in the game, and I'm sat next to her, and I'm doing bad at this game, right? I'm like sucking. I have fuck all. And her sister starts handing me cash, and I'm like, oh, right? So I take it, and I'm encouraging her to keep doing it, because I don't want to fucking lose in front of a real life female, right?
Yeah, and real quick, guys, as someone who works in a bank, Monopoly's not how it works, okay?
Sure it is. You just have a banker and they give out money. Right? So anyway, I win this game, right, after cheating, and so I'm playing with, it's me, it's the girl, it's her sister, and her two parents, so her mother and father. And her father questions the sister about cheating, right? She fucking rats on me, and he leaves as if he's like really fucking angry about it. Like, I can't tell at this point whether it's a joke or if he's genuinely mad because I cheated at a board game.
You cheated on like a fun kids game. What the fucking loser are you?
That's true. It's true. We're both losers, right? So both of the parents leave, right? They go into like the kitchen, and I'm sat at the table with this girl and her sister. And her mum comes back, and she's like, the dad wants me to leave. And I'm like, what? Over fucking Monopoly or what? And like, looking back at it, I'm sure there's probably another reason. Like, I'm sure I probably pissed him off earlier, and he's like, excuse.
He went to go take a shower, and he found a hidden camera you like put in there. But he was more mad about the cheating.
What?
He was more mad about the Monopoly cheating, though. It was just a secondary.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. So I leave. I get a hotel for the night, 'cause my train's the next day, and I didn't really hear much back from her after that. But yeah, I got kicked out of a girl's house for presumably cheating at a board game.
Honey, I had to ask him to leave. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Just ask your mother.
Look, I regret my decisions. I've made a lapse in my judgment, and I will never cheat again.
That's false. That's a fucking lie right there.
Yeah, it is.
You seem like the guy that will cheat for the rest of his life in board games.
Yup. I want to win.
I'm like that too, because I'm competitive, and
right?
You know,
I don't care about the morals.
I hate it. I literally hate it. I like always think to cheat.
Look, it depends, right? If we like set out beforehand, like, all right, we're actually trying to see who's better here, no fucking about, then I won't. But if it's just like a casual game, it's like, right, I want to win this.
You have to specifically verbally state that you're not going to cheat at a kid's game to not do it?
It's not a kid's
Look, it's about having an ego
kid's
pound.
Game. It is just a game, right? It doesn't matter what it is. I'm competitive.
It's not
I want to win.
Game. The pieces are like little race cars and dogs.
You think 5-year-olds can play Monopoly? No, they have no idea.
Boot.
They have no idea.
One of the players is a shoe.
I guarantee you the recommended age for Monopoly is like 15 and older.
It's definitely 3+.
Not. I'll bet you 1,000 V-Bucks.
And the only reason it's 3+ is because the 2-year-olds kept choking on the pieces. No Googling, DC.
I am. Monopoly age.
Kicked off the podcast. He's looking at the porno version of Monopoly.
8 years and older.
Wow, there you go.
Get fucked.
And Jenna's always bad at Monopoly because she's like, okay, I have to pay you $175. If only there was some way to do math inside my head, but there's no word for that.
DC's like, I'm really good at mental math, so he doubles the figure.
I just picture Bailey having he's playing Candyland with like his 3-year-old child in the future, and he's like, oh my god, look, mom's outside, she's getting robbed, and the kid like looks away, and Bailey like moves 2 spaces forward, and he's like, oh no, it's just the wind.
Yeah,
but she's actually getting robbed, and I'm like, wait, I have to win the game first.
You hired somebody to rob her so you can move the piece.
All right, I'm always torn.
I have more questions.
Oh, go ahead.
You said you had to go to a hotel because your train was how far away was this from your house?
Cambridge was from my parents' house. I was 18, so 2.5 hours-ish on a train.
And why were you at the girl's house?
Because I was just spending time with her.
What was her name?
It was her birthday.
You were the only person invited?
Well, yeah, because we were
You're
like
telling me for
half
this girl's
dating.
birthday, she wanted to spend it around a kitchen table with you playing Monopoly?
Well, we did stuff before, but that was like in the evening because like we built it up, right? We had a rapport over Monopoly, and we're like, we're gonna fucking play Monopoly.
How long were you talking to this girl before this happened?
I don't know, 6 months.
And did
to
you
a
guys
year,
hook up?
somewhere? No comment.
Bailey's like, yeah, we did some stuff before Monopoly, and he's like, yeah, I think the dad kicked me out because I cheated at Monopoly. Meanwhile, there's just like a used condom on the ground in his daughter's bedroom.
All right, Pound. Do you have any more questions?
Look, no, I'm done with questions.
Well, thanks.
Right.
I've finished being interrogated
Right,
for my Monopoly cheating. You guys made a bigger deal of it than he did.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is such a blatantly stupid and untrue story that I feel like it has to be reverse psychology, and this actually happened. So I'm gonna go true because it's so blatantly not true.
I think this is true, but I'm so fucking tired of being fooled by Bailey. I'm gonna say false.
Okay, so I said true. DC said false.
Yeah.
It is false, DC. You did
God damn it! Yeah.
This is reverse psychology.
I was like, this. I'm like, nobody. I'm like, you'd have to be.
He's too good at this, bro.
I was like, you'd have to be a literal moron to believe this story. So I think he's trying to get me to believe it.
I could see. Well, the dad would. It's a pretty dick move to like kick your daughter's significant other for the moment out of the house for cheating.
For 2.5 hours from his house.
But like I fast forward into my future, and if a little fucking prick comes into my house and cheats on a board game, I'm gonna be like, honey, ask him to leave before I fucking shoot him in the face.
What fucking like? What kind of person? Like, there has to be something mentally wrong with you that you go visit a girl and then cheat Monopoly.
You're not a competitive person, are you, Pound?
Okay, like maybe
You're just not competitive, are you? I see you being very passive and okay with losing, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying, like, you just.
It's the point is to have fun.
But I know, take Monopoly out of it. Any sort of game, chess, checkers, you're playing cards, like anything.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go play chess with someone and then just steal their pieces off the board and they're not looking because I'm so competitive.
I'm not saying you cheat. I'm just saying you
Yes,
care
you
about.
are.
No. I'm talking about where you are, like, you care. Does losing bug you a lot?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But I'm like not just. I care about fairness.
Right. Yeah, there's some people out there that are just like.
There's some people who care about winning more than fairness. Me and DC are both that person.
Yes.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really that person, like, anymore. Like, it depends who it's with.
I'm gonna be honest too. I usually don't have to cheat because I'm exceptional at pretty much anything I put my fingers on.
Bailey's that guy that like puts on crutches and like walks over to the Special Olympics. He's like, I like to do the 100-yard dash.
I have a huge competitive streak with Jenna right now, and the only way we're going to settle this is with an IQ test. Is that I think I'm smarter than her, and she thinks she's smarter than me. The ultimate fucking test.
Yeah, I think in a relationship, I'm that guy. I think I would cheat at stuff to get one over.
What?
Just because it's
You
important.
would cheat in a relationship?
Yep, that's it. That's the story. I cheated on a girl next week on the BDP podcast.
No, there's some things
just-
like with Jenna or your significant other, you just have to know the truth, like whether it's you like it or not. And so
Is my cock small?
Yeah.
Thanks, DC.
Bailey's like dating this girl, and she's like, oh, you didn't even make me come, and he's like, that's not what the 5 girls last night said.
I don't
Right.
get it.
This is why I make 9/11 jokes. At least I get a reaction.
Canceled.
I would laugh. See, look, you just mentioned 9/11. I laughed.
That's
not
that
funny.
is genuinely. I think
It's pretty funny.
I think genuinely that's why I try to say like the most fucked up things because
Yep.
like.
Because
That's why we want to test you for autism.
Right? Because I'll say like, oh, why did the chicken cross the road, guys? It was to get to the other side, and there's just like nobody reacts. So I'm like, okay, even if they don't laugh, I want to hear a reaction when I talk.
Pound, the book that I'm listening to, Blink by Malcolm Gladwell. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. He's
How are we back on this?
No, because he talks about it's all about the value of your initial reaction within a split second. And he talked about autistic people and why they don't have that capability. They're called mind blind, where they can't read others, facial expressions and pick up on
they don't
social
have
cues.
brains.
But I wonder, Pound, one of the things that autistic people do is they focus.
They start podcasts.
No, they focus. You know how like we recognize a face. You can see a girl 30 years later that you went to first grade with, and recognize that it's her.
Yeah, I'm seeing a girl in first grade right now.
Autistic people focus on objects just as much as normal people focus on. I just said normal people. You know what I'm saying? As non-autistic people focus on faces. Do you remember faces well?
If I say no, am I autistic?
No, no. I'm just
because people would come when I was a waiter. Like people would come in and they're like, "Oh, Mr. Mark, it's so good to see you." I'm like, "Who the fuck is that?" They're like, "He comes in once a week." And I was like, "I don't recognize them." There are some people I recognize, but I feel like I'm much worse at other people at remembering like customers when they come back in.
Yeah, I'd be curious. I mean, you're obviously.
Yeah. Finish that sentence.
Nope.
Nope. I had a girlfriend who cheated on me, and I like saw some text with her and the guy she cheated on me with, and the guy was like, why are you dating somebody with autism? And her reaction was not he doesn't have autism. Her reaction was don't say that, he can't help it. That was her reaction.
Oh wow.
No way. That is awful.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna stop calling you autistic now.
I mean, obviously, I'm not like super. If I am,
you're
I'm not super on the
high-functioning.
spectrum. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm super good at math, and I don't understand social situations. So look, there's something going on.
Right, and I don't want to make a big deal about it because I don't know like how sensitive, but like, yeah, you're very high functioning.
I don't think I'm that sensitive about it.
Yeah, no matter what the results would be.
Yeah, because I did listen to a podcast recently where it's a psychology podcast. And it was just about how the title was like how autism drives innovation or something. And it was just about how it's a different perspective. They have different perspectives on things. And so it's not that they're better, but it's good to have, two different ways of thinking on a subject.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome to the autism episode, boys.
It's the BDP part. Oh, God.
Hey, real quick. One thing that I like about this podcast is that we're getting recurring good aspects of it. The outro song, the ending segment, the sort of inside pedophilia jokes.
Yeah.
No.
Everything like that that's yes. Everything like that that's recurring is good.
You guys are supposed to keep talking.
We're done. The podcast over. It's just a depressing tune in the background. I missed the podcast already. I feel so lonely. I'm actually gonna cry.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We appreciate each and every one of you. Remember that you can accomplish anything you set your mind to, because you're that awesome, and we believe in you. With me!
Make sure to check out our alternate podcast, what was it, BPB?
The
pedophilia podcast.
No.
The Be a Pedophile.
No, the other.
Be a Predator podcast.
No, who was our competitor that we discovered?
Oh, yeah, is it the BDB podcast?
The BDB podcast. If you're out there.
There is a podcast. I just discovered them. There's a
don't put this
podcast
in the
called the BDB
No
podcast.
shouts. No, stop. No, we need a lot of clout. Don't give it
You're
away.
such a fucking bitch. They're not even good. Alright, are we done recording?
No, not yet.
Not yet? Okay.
One thing I tried this week.
Pedophilia.
Helped. meditate. Do a 10-minute guided meditation. I did it on YouTube. I was so fucking pissed at my work situation with certain people, and I did this thing, and I felt so much better. That's it. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
That can't be the end. That's the worst way to end ever.
Cut out.
Cut it out then. How do we end?
We already ended. Just end of the song.
We just have to all say BDP podcast in unison, okay?
No.
BDP podcast. Barely tune in or this can't end. A BDP podcast.
I've stopped my recording. It's over.